I wanted to think out loud about the concept of not value exactly, but kind of like monetization of society and stuff like that, and like things that you can buy with money versus things you can't buy with money, and how like being money pilled and only thinking in terms of ROI or in terms of money, like how that shapes how you think, and it becomes like cognitively dissonant, maybe something like this. I wanted to think out loud about this because I've just watched like the video you're seeing to my right there. This video here kind of like sparked the thought on me here. So yeah, I'm going to like post it here. Fuck.
Tied to playing the game of life, but I just wanted to put this in here. Whenever you're making a decision, think of the ROI, the return on investment, because there will be a trade-off for everything. Is the trade-off worth it? I'll give you an example. Therapy is expensive, okay? Oh, this would be the perfect time to go into my bed, how bad. Therapy is so expensive. Let's say you don't invest the $100, $200 a week into it. So instead, you're depressed, sluggish, tired, you don't have friends, your life is not really doing much or improving. In turn, your other bars are going to deplete. Your social bar will deplete because you won't want to go out, you won't be happy, you won't be healthy. Versus instead, if you invested this 100, 200, likely you're going to get that back like 3-4 fold, and all the other bars will go up. Everything is an investment. Can you see how everything is a chain reaction as well? You know what? I think...
See, like this, how she ends it on like everything is an investment, right? And friends of mine always talk about this because I have a friend who is like very like libertarian and all this, right? And all of my other friends essentially pick on him because of this, right? Because he said like some controversial stuff, for example, and regarding like healthcare and all these things, right? So I think there are arguments towards like markets and all this, but I guess like the pro point of like think of everything in ROI terms or something like that is like whenever resources are limited, right? It's like there is going to be like a fight for this, and markets are how you solve this, right? I guess like this is like the pro argument, right? But it also like doesn't really hit for me. I don't know, like this argument of like there are markets for everything or something like that. It's like, but there are places where there are not markets, right? And for example, people will marketify stuff like love and all this when you can't buy love, right? It's like if you want to marketify love, you have to like put like a lot of different constraints and crutches and all this, and like change what the currencies are and all this in order for the love market to make sense, right? Because the dating market and all this is already kind of like a thing, and people talk about like sexual marketplace and all this kind of stuff. But I don't know, to me it doesn't really hit. I mean, I get it, and I can talk about it and like use the meme terms and all this, and like the SMV and the curve, and like talking about someone hitting the wall and all this kind of stuff. Like I can talk about it, and like it's funny to me, but I don't really believe in it, right? Like I don't know, there's something about it that to me doesn't really hit, right? Like if you love someone, like you just like love them kind of, right? It's like maybe it's not like unconditional or like super romantic. Sorry for saying like, but since I'm thinking out loud, I have to like say like a lot. I have to like put a lot of comparatives and all this in case what I'm saying is not like exact, because you get it, right? I'm not going to apologize for saying like anymore. So, but I'm going to try to say it less, but maybe that stalls my thinking. So maybe I won't even try. I'm going to like say like as many times as I fucking want. Okay, this is my video. No one's watching this, so who cares? So essentially, what was I saying? Sorry. This thing of the dating market kind of not really being a market, right? It's like do have some kind of what's a market? Fuck, let's pause and look up what a market is. Yeah, there is this like a market is a composition of whatever whereby parties engage in exchange. While parties may exchange goods and services by barter, most markets rely on sellers offering their goods and services, including labor, in exchange for money. Right? So, kind of the dating market, if it were to be called that, would be kind of a not really advanced dating market that is essentially powered by this kind of bartering of, I guess, like these human things, right? Like this affection and all this. So I guess it could be a market. If you look at, if I look up here, markets, I like scrolled a little bit and it doesn't seem to have like the dating market here. Yeah, well, abstract concept. Yeah, let's see a little bit about this. Agents are goods are distinguishable, I assume. Maybe this is a word that exists. A transfer is a communication of property rights. Strange. Competition develops between agents. So they do not take into account market agencies. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really interface market model. I could look this up maybe. Yeah, hell the fuck no. I'm giving up on this Wikipedia type shit. But for the moment, it's not looking like, I don't know, like something I understand, right? Because agents are goods are distinguishable in the interface market model. So in the dating market, who are the agents and what are the goods, right? The goods are like this kind of love and affection and all this, and you're choosing who you give yours to and who gives it to you back, I guess, right? But if you kind of like marketify all this, it's kind of like it loses sense, right? Because I don't know. I think market concepts are useful for some things. For example, like solving for distribution. Like if you complain about not having a girlfriend, but you're not like on places where you can find girlfriends, it's like, yeah, solve for distribution, right? You should find, I guess, clients or whatever, right? But also, it's not fully like that, right? Or like relationships in general, when you start thinking about like family, for example, how do you kind of marketify family, right? Is it like you just saying to your family, like spending time with your family is like made to be a market somehow? I don't know. I don't really get this. I don't know. For example, she says even herself that women are a currency or something like this. So this is kind of like, I think of what would a woman who doesn't agree with this say, and I guess she would say, like, yes, we kind of are made to be a currency by patriarchy or whatever, but there it doesn't have to be like that, right? That's kind of what they would say. I would assume, right? So yes, you can use it, but that's ultimately not good for like women overall, or something like this would be the argument. So it's like, don't like further marketify the things that are marketified or commodified or whatever, and do it less maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a theorist or a feminist theorist or anything like this. It's just like my intuition or something. What is the ROI or trade-off? Like, yes, or for example, measuring things like therapy in ROI, it's like measuring things like love in ROI, for example. Like you could think of getting a partner as in, yes, if you get a partner, like all important business CEOs have a partner, right? It's like 80% of them, you could probably make up some statistic like that, or like it's probably true. Like 85% of important business CEOs and billionaires have a supportive partner, right? So it shows that like finding a stability in a relationship or whatever makes you like willing, like more willing to endure the hard things that success brings on to you, or that high financial responsibility brings to you. I assume that's probably true as well, right? So you could think of being like, yes, optimize for having a partner because you're going to like better endure money, right? But also, like, shouldn't you want a partner because you feel better with someone else without needing to like marketify it and like put some ROI thing on top? Aren't some things good by themselves? Don't you want them above or below? Like even if it brought negative ROI, right? Like it costs you money to maintain someone, assuming you have to maintain it, or I don't know, or it limits your ceiling, your monetary ceiling, right? It caps it because the person you meet doesn't want to move to the United States to Miami or whatever and wants to stay in Europe. It caps your ceiling, right? But she's really good, or she treats you really well, or something like this, right? Like that's a good unto itself, right? I don't know. Maybe like the market thinks is like, but you could find someone else who, I don't know, and maybe, but then you shouldn't find someone else because it makes you richer, or like because it removes the ceiling, right? It should be because, I don't know, because the fact that you have a ceiling bothers you or something like this, right? I don't know. Not really even that. It's like, yeah, if you chasing the ceiling is something, like breaking the ceiling is something that really matters to you because of something, then it's all right. But it's also maybe a trade-off that you can make willingly and lovingly because you really prefer that, right? It's like, don't think of picking a partner on ROI terms, and yeah, right? Maybe everything is possible, or maybe not, or whatever, but you can make choices based on these non-market related things, right? Like you can choose to, because you love someone, stay somewhere, even if it lowers your ROI of some kind, just because, right? Without thinking in market terms of like, oh, but maybe I could find someone who, right? You can just do it because you love them, right? Like that can happen. I don't know. It seems like, I don't know. It seems like something that happens a lot, and that maybe this kind of market philosophy either thinks is bad, but acknowledges that it happens a lot. So I don't know what she would say, for example. What would she say? Would she say, yes, every like normies or like regular people or like, I don't know, whatever, people who have not leveled up or something like this, right? I think of the leveling up terms a lot as well, right? But yeah, kind of. What would she think? What would she say? People who have not leveled up think in these. No, I wouldn't trade my wife for a higher income, while people who have leveled up think, no, I can find a better wife or something like this, right? I don't know. Maybe it's true, right? Maybe you can actually find someone better for you, right? I don't know. But to me, these things aren't like, kind of like the argument or whatever is not in the person who says level up is right? The argument is something like, instead of it being like a pyramid where you have to like level up, it's like some kind of like horizontal type structure where one person has these kind of sets of values and this person has like these other sets of values, only that this person like makes 100k a month selling dropshipping goods on whatever, and this person like works a 9 to 5 on some fucking company but with like 40 hours a week and spends a lot of time with her partner, his partner, or whatever, right? I don't know. It's like they are like horizontal. It's not leveling up. Like this person has not leveled up. He makes more money, but because he prioritizes money more, right, or something like this. And in whatever this person's relationships are not necessarily going to be like better or worse than these ones, but they are going to be like different because of this money thing, right? This is called maybe valuing ambitiousness in the monetary sense or something like this, and this is called maybe valuing other things. I don't know what positive things could come of this, I guess, that are really different from these ones. But I think they are kind of like, yeah, I guess tranquility or, I don't know, stability or like, yeah, risk tolerance. I don't know. I'm not sure. Like this person has like low risk tolerance, so they prefer to have a higher floor by like not being bankrupt or something like this, or like maybe getting fired as a possible thing, but not really likely versus like a business. I don't know. I'm not sure. Or maybe they really are like leveling up things, and like if you are self-employed, you have like more control over things. But if you are a bad controller, then you will fuck shit up, and people who are bad controllers cannot control that, and the people who recognize it, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure where I'm going to with this. Actually, I'm not sure if I'm going to rewatch this video. This is like confusing for me. But yeah, I don't know. I saw this video and I wanted to mention it because I don't know. Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Yeah, so I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I was talking about value. Let me pull this up. Well, not pull it up. Like, look it up. Yeah, I just looked it up, and yeah, I thought of this in terms of value because I made a video the other day called Optimizing for Funny. So yeah, it's my latest video right now. And in this video, yeah, essentially I say that I want to like get paid, but in funny ways, right? So for example, I have an Amazon wishlist and all this, and if you buy me something because I have it on an Amazon wishlist, to me it's like funny because it's like someone I don't know personally or something like this, someone who just like watched a YouTube video of mine, but who has money for some reason, decided that it would be funny to like buy me something. So then I could like engrave the thing or something like commemorating this kind of funny event. I don't know. And that would be funny. Essentially, this is the thing. So here I talk about value because I mentioned cryptocurrency, because to me cryptocurrency is like inherently funny because it's like very volatile and because it's like made up, and yeah, and that I don't really know where the value comes from, right? So I know that money in general is made up as well, right? But this kind of cryptocurrency money is like even more made up and even funnier to me in that sense. And this friend of mine was saying that, yeah, because I mentioned also stablecoins, because stablecoins to me are like really funny because they are essentially real money. Like they have the name of like BUSD, like the Bitcoin stablecoin. No, the Binance stablecoin is like BUSD, I think, and yeah, and Circle USDC, for example, is another stablecoin, and those are like based on the dollar in some sense, but because they buy Bitcoin, I don't know, I don't get it. But essentially to me they are funny because they are like trying to say that they are dollars, but like for probably shady reasons, right? Why do you need some stable cryptocurrency? Because you don't want to like get out of crypto into the dollar system, right? You don't want to get back into fiat and back into crypto if you want to like trade these kind of things, right? So you may make something up that is a cryptocurrency but pegged to the US dollar value. Yeah, so I get it. I get why they exist, but I'm not sure. Yeah, and I get that it doesn't necessarily have to be shady. It just is meant to be like in trade kind of things, because converting to fiat and back is expensive, I assume, for reasons that I don't really get, but probably are fair. And if you make up this thing, it becomes less expensive. That's my theory, I guess. So yeah, so we were talking about this. Well, no, I wasn't talking about this. I mentioned this in the video, and my friend asked me about it. Well, told me that maybe I wouldn't find stablecoins as funny in this sense. I think I would still find them funny, because to me it's funny that a fake dollar is made up in some kind of blockchain or whatever. Right? To me, it's funny. It's funny. So yeah, pay me stablecoins. I like them as well. I find them funny. But yeah, essentially, we were talking about value and all these kind of things, and I think that he focused too much on this, because in that video I was about, when I think of value, like, I don't really necessarily think of money that much as well, right? I think, for example, I value like someone who loves you or something like this a lot as well, right? And you cannot buy that with money, I assume, right? I don't know. That's like the consensus, I think. Maybe you can. But no, it's like you can't. But money sometimes helps interface things, or like gets you to positions where it's easier for that to be fostered, or gets you to trust easier. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how shit works, but yeah. But to me, value, like the things that I find valuable aren't necessarily like, I can't assign dollar amounts, right? It's like, yeah, I don't know. You can assign a dollar amount to a trip somewhere, but the fact that the weather is really beautiful that day, and that you are with someone who you really like, and that you have a beautiful sunset before you, is not, you cannot put a price on that, right? These kind of things. Or, yeah, I guess you get it, right? Or you can put a price on a Mazda MX-5, 30,000 euros, but you cannot put a price on driving a Mazda MX-5 on a great road, and like the feelings and all this, right? But the feelings are the things that you value, right? Those are the things that you want. And the price is 30,000 euros on a Mazda MX-5, but maybe if you buy a Clio, or maybe if you buy a second-hand Mazda MX-5, you know, there start to be a lot of things that, yeah. Or maybe you would get like these same things on a Ferrari, but the Ferrari also gives you status, so you can pull up also to the club, and like the women are like, oh, a Ferrari or something like this. I don't know. Like, there are a lot of variables that influence. So if you are a person who just wants the thing, the driving and the feeling, the road and all this, you would say, why the fuck would I want a Ferrari, right? But if you want both, maybe you want a Ferrari, and if you just want one, maybe you want the Range Rover, or like a Rolls Royce or something, right? There are like different kind of things to value, right? I don't know. I'm going to leave it at this, because it's 23 minutes long. I don't think anyone is watching for longer, and I don't really think I have more to say, so yeah. Bye. Watch this video, yeah. I think if you haven't watched my optimizing for funny video, because it only has 8 views, so you very likely have not watched this, unless you are one of those 8 people, in which case, thank you for staying until the end. But yeah, you should really watch like that video. Optimizing for funny. Bye.